There's something serious going on right now with Blackrock, and if you don't know what's going on, you're going to miss it. And it's not something that's like doom and gloom, because if you don't do something about it, something bad's going to happen to you or your finances. But what's going to happen is later on in life, you're probably going to look back on this time and go, I was warned about this. I was told that if I do something now, I'm going to be completely blessed and my finances are going to be worth a lot more in the future. It's like somebody telling you, hey, it's 1996, and you may want to look at some of these telecom stocks. You know, a lot of people remember companies like WorldCom, MCI, Type 1, if you know what that is, right? It was a massive company, huge, right? But everyone remembers that it's gone. It's obliterated. The shareholders were destroyed. But what if you would have known about it when they first came out and you would have bought the stock and then you would have sold it? Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum, but BlackRock's doing something bad with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if you don't understand what they're doing and how they're going to control it, I don't know what to tell you. And there's an opportunity to make so much stupid money. It's insane. So let me start here. I'm going to start with this story, and I want to explain why it's important. And can I ask you a yes or no question? Can you put yes down below, or no, if it's okay that I make you an offer today, something I think is going to absolutely change your financial life? I'm not joking. And I'm going to explain in the pitch why it's going to change your life. So if I have your permission, type yes or no down there. All right. This is out of the Daily Hodl. BlackRock deposits $372 billion worth of Ethereum and $292 billion in Bitcoin to Coinbase Prime, on-chain data shows. And I'm going to show you why this is a really, really big deal. The world's largest asset manager has deposited hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Ethereum and Bitcoin into Coinbase Prime, on chart data shows. According to the blockchain tracking platform Looked On Chain, BlackRock recently moved massive amounts of Ethereum and Bitcoin worth a combined $664 million onto the top US crypto platform, as Trump's latest tariff policies and new job data have sparked market volatility. Just so you know, it has nothing to do with the tariffs. It has nothing to do with market volatility. I'm going to show you why. This is a big deal, and trust me, you're going to have to trust me on this one, but I'm not joking around. There are people at BlackRock, Blackstone, and these large funds that watch this channel. And I know something that they don't know that I know, and it's going to be great. It says here, on-chain data indicates that the assets that BlackRock put on the Ethereum exchange-traded fund, the iShares Ethereum Trust, and its Bitcoin ETF, the iShares Bitcoin Trust, it's unclear the reason for the transfers. I'm going to show you what they're doing in a second. But it may indicate an intention to sell on behalf of clients. No, it's not. BlackRock uses Coinbase Prime for custody, sales, and other services. All right, let me break down a couple things real quick. First, everybody remembers I talked about Spark. Type SPK if you remember this, right? I told you I wanted to get this out on the channel first. I wanted to be the first, larger channel to talk about this token, because it had only been out for like 4 weeks. I said, this is a big deal, come check it out. Just the other day, Brian Armstrong, after I've been talking about it for a week or week and a half, something like that, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, is hailing how great it is. He's talking about how great it is because he knows and I know what they're using Spark for. All right. So the news is going crazy. I'm trying to get way ahead of the news for you guys. I take the crap from some morons in there, a handful of morons, but 99% of you are intelligent and are learning about this and trying to get into this before these big funds. What BlackRock is doing is they know Coinbase is custodying these large, massive assets because they're about to start moving them into different protocols on the exchange. So, and this is the pitch I'm going to give you. What most people don't realize is that the bond market is now, crypto blockchain technology is now not only the new bond market, but it's also the new dividend paying sort of stock sector, as you will. A crypto token is not a stock. It's not a share in a company. You don't own ownership in a company, but you do own ownership in a protocol. Okay. If there's only a million tokens, let's say, on a protocol, and you own 10% of them, you own 10% of the benefits or the bad things of that protocol. And what's happening, why I say that the blockchain is now the new bond market, let me explain something. During ups and downs in markets, whether it be the stock market or the crypto market, smart money moves into yield, okay, during a downturn. And so in the stock market sense, if you remember, every time there's a bad market that happens, stocks start to sell off, money moves from stocks, equities, moves into the bond market, and they're gaining yield, and they're waiting for stocks to keep dropping, and then they'll take their initial investment plus the yield they make and move back into stocks. It's usually a multi-year move. You're seeing it with Warren Buffett right now, okay? Guys, type yep if you know that Warren Buffett or Berkshire is mostly in T-bills, bonds, and US dollars, okay? Because they're waiting for the market to drop. So the same thing is about to happen with crypto. But the thing is these large exchanges are starting to do the same thing. They are taking their Ethereum and they are using exchanges to stake, okay? They're making a yield on a certain portion. Then what they're about to do is they're moving in, and this is a new thing. It's called staking. I'm going to put a link down below to the pre-filming discount for Crypto Staking Pro, and I'm going to explain why it's a big deal. See, companies are forming all over the world right now and using blockchain technology to run their systems, their protocols, their truth machines, right? Whereas in the past, large companies would use colos, these large data centers where companies like Amazon Web Services, AWS, would get paid by them to store data and run their systems, keep their systems up, right? To keep their uptimes high and all that stuff. What companies have found is that with blockchain, they can produce a token, have thousands of computers around the world adopt their protocol, and then they get paid in their token, or in a lot of cases, a stable coin. That's why this stable coin stuff is such a big deal, okay? If this is starting to make sense, guys, do me a favor and just start typing it down below, because I need to know where you're at in your mind. So what they do is these are companies that come out, they form a company, they have stock, and some of those are going to be publicly traded on the stock exchange. I own companies that have stock that are producing crypto, okay? I have one that's launching in Vegas this week I got to be at that I haven't told anybody about, and I'm not planning on telling anybody about, but the team is incredibly talented and famous. I just blows my mind that I'm a part of these. But my point being is we're going to be putting out a token that is functional on a platform, right? And it does something. So you can not only use it to gain access to the platform for whatever you need, financial services or whatever, you know, whether it be like a YouTube alternative or not, but then you also have the opportunity to stake it in some aspects and make incredible yield, anywhere between 4 and 49%. I know there's some crazy ones out there past that, but just bear with me, okay? As more people get onto these networks, the yield goes down, identical to the bond market. Remember, if a lot of people rush from stocks into bonds, what happens to bond yields? Do they go up or down? Just type it down below. The thing is, when you see that mad rush, yields go down, right? Because if there's more people that are willing to take on or buy government or corporate debt, they can offer it a lower rate, so it drives it down. It's the exact same way with staking. See, blockchain is now the new bond market. You got to get this through your head. And look, let me ask you this. In your life, how many times have you wanted to get cash flow? You read some Robert Kiyosaki book and he hammered, you know, cash flow. And just type 10 if you're like, I want cash flowing assets. I want assets that pay me while I sleep. You know, real estate's great for that, but the problem is you don't truly get paid while you sleep, because if a pipe breaks, you got to run down and fix it or pay someone to fix it, right? There's tending to this. Well, with staking, you can pick how much tending, just like with real estate. You can sit there and go, hey, I'm going to stake on a main exchange. I'm going to get less of a return because the exchange is going to take a portion of it. And I can just sleep at night and just get an incredible yield, way better than a bank would ever give me, right? See, Blackrock and Blackstone, all these big funds, they know this. They're they're gaining money through pension funds and private equity and stuff, and then they're investing it on your behalf, but they're giving you this much money in return, and they're taking this much in fees. Please understand how serious this is. If you learn how to do this right now, you could become your own Blackrock. You could set up a tiny computer for like $350. I'm not joking. This tiny little computer with a screen and a keyboard, set it off in your corner, hook up internet, and you could have your own bond portfolio on blockchain, just making you tons of money. That's what I'm about to teach you guys. Not only how to do it, how to secure it, but how to set up a portfolio, how to identify these teams, these companies, all this stuff, and do exactly what BlackRock's doing. The cool thing is, every time I come out with a new course like this, they take it and they learn more, and then they're coming to me. It's just been great. Let's put it that way. But truly, I want to put the power in your hands, because what I want you to do is be making, you know, 10, 12, 20%, and then learn the importance of not set it and forget it. Like, hey, this is good, but a lot of people have gotten into this. The token's risen because of a lot of lockups on the blockchain for staking. The staking rewards have gone down. Maybe I'll take a portion of this and I'm gonna put it into another sector or another company in that sector that's new, like, you know, playing the difference between Chainlink and DIA, right? An Oracle space. Learning how to do all this stuff yourself, becoming your own money manager and making stupid rates of return that you could never make in the crypto or stock market unless you're a professional money manager or trader. And again, what's going to happen that's different this time? Please understand this from the last Bitcoin bear market that happened from 2022 to late 2024, let's say, or early mid 2024. The difference is that we're going to have less of these tokens on the market because, like I just stated in this story on the Daily Hodl, you know, Blackrock took all of this amount of Ethereum, like hundreds of billions of dollars of Ethereum, and then hundreds of billions of dollars in Bitcoin. You're never getting that back. You may think that, like, oh, there's an ETF liquidation, right, on one side, and the price goes down. I hope you understand this. For every time there's a liquidation and a company like Blackrock has to sell it, there's a subsidiary out there that's buying it for pennies on the dollar through another wallet. Man, if I wish, let me ask you this, honestly, type 99 if this doesn't make sense to you or you don't believe me. Type 100 if this makes sense to you, what I'm saying. I know what it's like to be a market maker. I know what it's like to run a market. Even way back into 2017 on Ether Delta, I was doing this. And I told you guys in the beginning, and I waited to go deep into crypto until January of 2023, until the first ETF came out, because I said, look, now is the time. We've got to race. We've only got so much time. You know, you've got 30 days left. You got 45 days left. You got 7 days left. Every single one of those came true. But only smart people knew what I was doing with those titles. Just like the last one. People lost their ever-loving minds. You got 7 days left. And I said in that video, and they're like, doom and gloom, you're a scammer, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I could care less what those idiots think. But I'm telling you right now, it's true. 7 days later, Bitcoin went from 121 to 112. And what happened to everybody's altcoins? They got wrecked. In their mind, I sold off, went 20% to cash. Yes, it was multi-seven figures. This isn't messing around. I went to cash, 20%, still kept 80% of my portfolio, went down. I just bought more of every single project while everyone's freaking out. And the title of the story was true. You had 7 days to make as much money as possible. And now I came out and did another one, an update, and I said, now we're about to pump. Get ready. You've only got so much time left because you'll never get that time back. So if you want to learn about this stuff, you want to make a difference like in the next 10, 20 years of your life, so you want to learn how to stake these projects, you want to learn how to identify them. And I'm going to be honest with you, here's the pitch. I'm going to start releasing, there's a group of 3 companies I've never talked about on this channel or any of these channels that we're going to be releasing to that course first. So if you want those, when the course is completely done, we're going to start opening up these sections, teaching people about these companies that are allowing staking or restaking or yield farming. You're going to learn about all that stuff. There's a ton of stuff in there, and then you're going to be able to get in there before the public finds out. I'm looking for tiny gems, small market cap companies on blockchain, running blockchain with staking processes where you don't put all your money into. You build an actual portfolio making stupid rates of return that your family won't believe you. I'm not joking. All right, with that being said, that's the pitch. It's the pre-filming discount down below. No, it's staking. Okay, here's a good question. Will taxes be included in that? Heck no, I'm not a tax professional. There are crypto services, and this is the biggest thing holding people back in this sector. Please understand that. Do you know how many times I've heard people say, I can't believe you sold, you're gonna have to pay taxes? Yeah, I pay the highest tax rate in the nation, 38% or whatever on the Fed side. Yeah, I'm not afraid of paying taxes because I get to keep the rest. And what happens is you create a lot of bag holders because they're more afraid of the IRS. You know, you sell, you take your gains, you book your taxes, you set them aside, and then go look for legal loopholes to get out of those taxes. Legal loopholes that you don't have to pay on that money, right? If you got a capital gain, write it off against a capital loss. Go get a cost seg report. I'm not a tax professional, and I've been looking for, honestly, this is the truth. I've been looking for a tax professional that's not only a CPA or an enrolled agent, that owns their own firm and has employees under them so they know how to run a business, but actually owns other types of assets where they're always looking, and I want to buy their firm and I want to partner with them and turn it into the biggest firm next to H&R Block, and I got the authority and power to do it. But I can't find anyone. So I'm not including the taxes because that just gets me into liability. But I can tell you from a blockchain professional and someone that's been doing a lot of things in the blockchain space since January 2017, I know what I'm doing with this stuff. And I know this stuff can change your life. So if you want a pre-filming discount, please don't whine to me after this sale's done and the price goes up, because a lot of people I had to deal with in the DeFi course. And then I've got lots of people that finally dove in when the price was 3 times or 4 times what it originally was. And now they're making stupid money. And they said the only thing you regret is they would have started earlier and been a part of all those call outs on those new companies. That's what Dylan and I are finding. We're going to teach you all about this, and then we're going to find you awesome companies. We're going to go, hey, look, we're staking this here, we're staking this there, this is why, but we might switch over here and be nimble. That's the only thing that keeps people poor, the inability to pivot. Can you guys do me a favor? Type amen if you understand the fact that rich people, wealthy people know how to pivot, where poor people are more afraid. All right, with that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.